Hello and welcome to Benefitsquad. In this video, we are going to run through how to create a class, how to launch your class, how to edit, and all of the details that go along with using your online portal as an instructor. So the first thing we are going to want to do is to log into our account. And one of the first things that we'll find is that there are a number of ways to do the same thing here on the site. So I always log in by going to my account and down to For Instructors. Now there's also the login button, so I'm sure that works just the same, but this is just how I do it. So like I said, there's multiple ways of doing the same thing here. All right, the first thing you're going to find when you do this are the instructor terms that pop up. So you want to scroll down, make sure you've read through all of this and you have an understanding of everything that you are agreeing to when you partner with Benefitsquad. And when you do, you'll scroll down and you want to click on accept. And this is going to bring you to the sign-in form. And you'll want to log in with your email address and password that you've created and log into the system. All right. And when you do, sometimes it takes a few moments for everything to populate. And that's just fine. It's coming. There are a lot of people these days that are online. And so sometimes they slow down our speed. All right. So this is what you will find. Now, the first time you log in, yours is going to look a little bit different because you are not going to have all of this populated. These are the scheduled classes that I have scheduled, and I'm going to show you how to do that for yourself. All right, so let's go ahead. We are going to schedule our first class. We're going to do a test class today, and I strongly encourage that you also do a test class, if not one, multiples. You'll see here that I've done a few of them, and I've actually done a number of them since I've been working with Benefitsquad just to test out different things from time to time. So I strongly encourage that you do the same, especially when you're first getting started. All right, so we're going to set up a class. If you click over here on Set Up Class, it's going to bring you down the page. So you can click there or you can just scroll down and we are going to create a class. All right, and here we go. The form is fairly user-friendly, but I want to run through it because we're going to do all of this together. So you'll want to create a title for your class. We're going to call this class the Best Test Class. And we're going to come down. We are going to select a start date and a start time. All right, where are our times? Scroll all the way down. Find the one that you want. All right, and then we are going to choose an end date and an end time, just so your students know how long to expect. So in this example, if we start the class at 5:30 p.m. and the class, let's say, is going to be a half an hour, we're going to end the time at 6 p.m. All right, these next two buttons you don't need to worry about because it's not going to be an all-day event and there is an end time. All right, for a class description, you will want to enter something for this, both for your test class and for your regular classes. Now for this, we're going to call this a private test class. New classes starting soon. All right. Next up, fill in your name and where you are broadcasting from. I'm Melissa Merkel, and I'm coming to you from Medina, Ohio. All right. Next up, we can select an image. All right, so if you click on that button, you can find an image, and we'll select that one. All right, so we've got the image. Next up, this is where you're going to click to set your ticket price. Now for your test class, you can set it for $0, but you do need to do this in order to generate the link for your class. So you're going to want to click on that toggle until it says yes, and then you're going to want to enter your ticket price. So again, for this example, this is our test class, and so we're not going to be charging anything for it, but we do need to put in that price. And it shows right up here the format that it wants you to enter your price. All right. The rest of the fields here can be left blank. All right, and a number of them say that. Leave this field blank. You don't need to worry about sold individually, and then leave this blank. So don't worry about those. So just a real quick recap. We did the title. We selected the start date and time along with the end date and time. We put in a class description. We put in our name, where we are coming from. We chose the image, and we selected yes to select that ticket price. And we selected a ticket price, even if it is just $0. All right, we're going to scroll down, and we select host it. And this is going to generate your class. And again, sometimes this takes a few seconds for the class to become generated and to actually come through. All right, and here it comes. We're still thinking, but we are almost there. So as this continues to work, I want to show you something else. So the first time that you create that class, you are going to get an email coming from Zoom. And our platform uses Zoom to deliver our courses. And so let me show you what you can expect. I'm going to pull up the email here. Here it is. All right, so this is the email you can expect to get when you create that first class. All right, you will need to approve the request before you can actually instruct the class. And just a quick note here, when you sign up for Benefitsquad, you need to use a different email address than you have used for a Zoom account. So this only applies to people that already use Zoom and that already have a Zoom account set up. So if you have that Zoom account, your Benefitsquad membership and your login needs to be done with a separate email. And the reason being is because your email is going to get linked to Zoom, but it's going to get linked to the Benefitsquad Zoom. And so if you use it for something else, you want to keep those two things separate. All right. So you can expect to see this email after you create that first test class. You must approve it before you can enter the class, and you must have signed in through Benefitsquad with a different email address than any previous Zoom accounts. Hopefully that all makes sense. If you have any questions about it, definitely let us know. And if you found that you created an account with one email address and you need to change it, that's fine. Go ahead and do that now, and you'll be all good to go. All right. We'll shut that down. We're going to come back to our Benefitsquad screen. All right. Now you can see that class that we just created is showing up down here, the best test class. All right. And you can see that that class is also showing up over here on the side. And that is what we want to use to get the link that we can send to our students. Okay. So one quick thing I want to note too, you might see it shows book tickets and that it's $20, even though we just set it at $0. I'm not sure why it's showing that, but if you click on that image, it's going to take you to the page where your students can actually sign up for the class. And you can see here that the total price is actually $0. All right. So if you are concerned about that, I recommend that you come to this page to double check how much it actually is. All right. So we're getting there. So we've created the class and now we have the link. So what we're going to do, we are going to copy this link And this is what we are going to send to our students. You can also post this on social media. However you want to get people to come to register for your class. You want to give them this link so they can come and they can purchase a ticket, especially when it's your first class. All right. So you'll see we've got the image and the class description, and they can add that to the cart. All right, so we're going to invite a few people to our class, and we're actually going to launch our class. All right, so we're going to take this link, and we're going to go back to our email here. And we're going to create a new email. All right, we're going to invite a couple students, and this one, and we're going to say, join our test class. And you will want to add some text to your email. We've got a couple people on board to join our class, so we'll be sending this email out. There we go. All right. So let's go back to our portal while we are waiting for people to register for our class. All right, as we're waiting for the system, a few things to note about your students and how they are going to join the class. They have a number of different ways once they register. So when they register, they're going to get an email with the link to join the class. So they can join the class right from that email, or they can log in to their Benefitsquad account, and that looks very similar to your instructor page. They will see the classes that they've paid for listed here, and they can click on the join link, and that will take them right to the class. So that's another way. A third option, I told you there were many different ways to do the same thing here on the site. So a third way, if they are having trouble getting in with the link or here through the website, they can go directly to Zoom and they can enter the meeting ID. So that is another way. So your participants can watch on their laptop or on their computer, and those are some of the methods that we've just talked about. Another way they can join is through their mobile device. And if they join on their mobile device, they will want to get the Benefitsquad app and sign into the app and find the class that way. Now, a few things to note, there is a little bit of a difference whether they watch on their device or they watch from their computer. If your students watch from their computer, they will be able to see you, the instructor, and they will be able to see the other students in the class, which is really fun because they can talk to each other and they can get to know each other, and it's just really cool to have everyone together. So again, that is if your students log in from a laptop or from a computer. If they log in from their mobile device, they'll be able to see you and you will be able to see them, but they will not be able to see the other students. So some people like that. They just want to see the instructor, and it makes for a more intimate one-on-one experience. So I wanted to let you know that, because if you are talking to someone that's in your class and you mention that it's so nice that everyone can see each other and they are confused by that, or they don't understand why they're not seeing the other students, it's probably because they're watching from their mobile device. All right. I'm going to refresh the page here and let's look at this just a little bit. We'll see if we've gotten any students into our test class so we can launch it. All right, and it's thinking right now. While it's thinking, I want to show you some of the features here. So as I mentioned, oops, here we go. It looks like they're still signing up for the class. So all of your live classes are going to be shown here on your main portal site. It's going to show how many tickets you've sold. So when our students register for our class, this number right here is going to change. All right? And then when you're ready to join the class, you can go ahead and click on join. That's going to be the easiest way. That is the way that I always get into the class. Now again, you will also receive an email with the join link, so you can join then. All right. Another thing to note is that when you schedule the classes, you will get a calendar invite sent to you. All right. So if you have your calendar synced up to some of your different devices, you will get notification. For example, I'm wearing an Apple Watch right now, and it just went off letting me know that I had scheduled this test class because it's connected to my calendar. So you'll get that calendar invite. All right. One thing you're going to want to do before you launch your class, you're going to want to head over to Zoom and make sure that you are logged into Zoom with the correct account. Now, again, this only goes for people that have more than one Zoom account. So if you had another Zoom account before you joined, then you'll want to make sure you're on the right one. Okay, so we're going to come over. I'm in Zoom here. I'm going to come over to my account and just double check and make sure I'm signed in with the correct one, which I am. All right, so we are good to go with that. Now, I will say that if you forget that step, you can go back to it, but I want to let you know if you try to join your class and your Zoom account is signed into a different Zoom account than what is associated with Benefitsquad, you're going to get a pop-up saying that you're waiting for the host to join the class. And this can be confusing because you're supposed to be the host. Speaking from experience. So if you get a message that's saying you're waiting for the host and you're like, what the heck, I am the host, go back to your Zoom account and make sure you're logged in with the correct email address. All right. So a few little pointers in case you see some things. All right. And we're refreshing again to see if our students have joined the class. And if they haven't, no problem. We're going to look at a few other features here in our portal. Oh, and look at that. We've got some participants here. This is great. We've got 3 participants. Perfect. So let's go ahead and we're going to start the class. All right. To start the class, we're going to click on Join. And yes, we're going to allow this to open Zoom US. Perfect. All right. So the first thing I do, well, I adjust my camera a little bit. The camera angle is always important. I want to test the speaker and the microphone. All right. So did you hear the ringtone? If you did, yes, you're going to select yes. And then you're going to come down here and make sure the right microphone is selected. All right, I am using the Samsung RXD, and so I'm good. Yes, I can hear. So I'm going to join with computer audio and then click it again. You get to click the same thing a number of times here. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to do is come down here and you're going to pause the recording. All right. You want to pause the recording because you need some time to set up. All right. You will want to start your class about 10 minutes early. Your first class, maybe even a little bit more, just to get things set up. And there are a number of steps here that we're going to go through. So if you need to come back to this video and watch it again when you are setting things up, by all means, feel free to do that. I've got a checklist here that I'm going to go through all of these things with you because it is a lot. But don't worry. Once you do it once or twice, you'll become a pro and you'll know how it works. All right. So we already tested out the audio, so the speaker and our microphone. All right. Next up, we are going to come down here to our video button, to the little caret. We're going to click up on it and we are going to check our video settings. All right, and let's make this bigger. Whoops, and there we go. All right. So we're on video, and we want to check some of these settings here. So we are going to check, we want to make sure it says mirror my video, touch up my appearance. I don't know if that makes a difference, but if it's going to help, we're going to test it out. All right, a couple other things that you want to make sure are checked. This first one here, always display participant name on their videos. That way, if you get a class with a number of people, sometimes people are standing far away from their camera and you're not really sure who it is, or maybe you forget someone's name. If their name has to be displayed there, it is very, very helpful, and people love it when you refer to them by name, especially when you're in a class and you're calling things out. So you want to turn that on. All right. The other thing you want to make sure that you select is to spotlight my video when speaking, because when you're speaking, you want the full screen to be on you. All right. So that's what we're going to select in the settings. So once you have that, you can close out of that. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to adjust our camera and our angle to make sure that it's facing the right way. Just like I did when the video first came on, I kind of adjusted it down. All right, so you're going to want to back up, and I'm going to show you. Now, for my class, I teach a chair-based class. So I have a chair back here. I want to sit in the chair and make sure that I can be seen in the camera. All right. So I want to make sure my arms are all the way in. If I tap my heel, so it looks like I actually need to move my chair back just a bit to make sure I'm in full screen. So bring your arms out to the side, bring them up, bring them down. Make sure that you can be seen in the camera where you are. Now, a good rule of thumb when you're standing up at your laptop, you want the hole, the device that is screening you to be about belly button height. That way, when you back up, it's about halfway and your full body gets in there. Okay? So you'll want to adjust your screen, get the angle just right. All right. Going to my checklist just to make sure we don't forget anything. All right. Next up, let's set up the music. All right? And as you can see, we do have some students that have joined our class. They are over here on the side right now. Hi guys, welcome. And we're going to continue setting things up, and then I will show you how to work with your students here. All right? So guys, just hold tight. We'll start in just a few minutes. All right? Okay, next up, let's get the music ready. Okay, so if you are using music, there's a certain way that you want to have it streaming through your computer so your participants can hear the music clearly. Now, if you're using music, you are going to need to get a headset microphone. I'm using a Samsung. There's another one on the Benefitsquad website that you can purchase from Amazon as well. But the way the music and the audio stream at the same time, you need a microphone right at your mouth in order for the sound to balance out, okay? So you've got the microphone. Let me show you how to do the music. All right, we're gonna come down to screen share and click on screen share, and we're gonna come up to advanced, all right? So again, that was screen share, click on advanced, and we are going to share our computer sound only. And click share. So you are going to see at the top this green bar right here. And your students can see that as well. And that's okay. It's going to stay up there the entire class if you are using music. Now, if you're not using music for your class, you can skip this step completely. Okay? All right. So the music there is ready, and we're going to play the music right from the computer. And when we get to the point of starting the music, I'll show you how to go about doing that. All right. So we have our students over here, and you can see right now they're on the side. Sometimes they show up at the top across your screen. Now you can see here, they've got the microphone with the cross through it, so they're already muted. And you can unmute them simply by clicking there and unmute the audio. All right. So before class, you can chat with them. After class, you can chat with them. Students, welcome. You are unmuted at this point, and we're very happy that you're here for this test class. During the class, you will be muted again, but at the end, we'll unmute you and we'll be able to chat after class. Okay. Perfect. All right. So we're going to change a couple of things. So during the class, the camera is on us and the sound is on us. All right. So one quick thing we're going to do, we want to come up to the very top of the screen where it says Gallery View, and that's going to change the view. So your participants are going to be spread out throughout the screen, which makes it a little bit easier to see. So Gallery View, again, that is up in the top corner. You can, speaker view is what we were just on. Gallery view is better for the class because you can see people a little bit better. All right. And you are going to want to find your video. So wherever you're broadcasting from, click on the 3 little dots right there. You're going to want to come down to Spotlight Video. This is going to ensure that the video is on you the whole time. And it looks like that just switched our gallery view. So let me ask our participants, because they are here. So did you see anything different on your side when I clicked on Spotlight, which you probably, I don't know if you saw that or not, but. Okay. Got it. All right. One more thing, instructors, that we are going to do. Since we unmuted them, we are going to mute them again for the start of class. Now, if you just have 2 students in your class, it's easy to click on their name and select mute. But if you have a class with a lot of people, it would be really hard to select a lot of them and mute them all. So an easy way to do that is if you come down here to manage participants, and you can select mute all right there. And so everyone's muted that way, except you, which is how we want it. Okay, we're just about ready to start the class. So lots to set up. You'll get fast at it, and you won't even think about it after a few tries. At first, it's kind of, getting in the habit of hitting all the buttons. So the students are here. Welcome, students. Now, if you were teaching a class as your students came on, you would want to be greeting them and talking to them as you're setting things up. Let them know that they will be muted throughout the class. You're going to unmute them after the class. All right. Another thing is that you can tell your students, if you don't feel comfortable with your video on, you can choose to shut your video off and be in the dark. But I enjoy it so much more when I can see you and you can see me, because it just lets me know that you're doing the movements correctly and everything is going well. Another thing, we want to remind our students that safety comes first. So you want to make sure that you remind them to clear everything out of their way, especially with people working out at home. They want to make sure things are put away, toys are gone and in a bin. The animals aren't going to be under your feet when you're teaching, because you don't want anyone to trip or fall or experience any sort of health risk or injury. Okay, so that's very important. We want to remind them at the beginning of the class. We're getting close to officially starting the class. And before we do that, we are going to want to record. Okay, so we pause that recording as we're getting set up. We don't need people to see all the chatter between the students and the instructor and see us setting everything up. So the recording has been paused throughout this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record again and run through like we're actually doing a class. Now, I'm not going to teach a whole class. we'll do a couple moves, but I want you to get a feel for what it's like when you are teaching a class. All right, now one of the first things that I'm going to do after I hit the record button is I'm going to officially greet the class, because I want you to remember you're now recording. So if a student is now playing one of your workouts from the beginning, the very first thing that should come on would be a greeting. You know, this is what class we have. These are the pieces of equipment that you might need. This is what you can expect. You know, we want you to be safe. All of those things you want to say, even if you said them some as people are joining, in case someone doesn't actually sign on until the very beginning, you want them to hear that as well. So you're going to hit record and you're going to say those things and you're going to start your music. All right. So I'm going to start the recording. I'm going to show you my greeting, and then I'm going to show you how to do the music, and we'll continue with the class. All right. Students, does that sound good? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. We are ready to do this thing. All right. You can see we're recording again up here in the corner. All right. Hello and welcome, students. Welcome to our Sit and Fit Club here on Benefit Squad. I'm Melissa Merkel, and I'm so excited you are joining us today. So for our workout today, you're going to need a sturdy chair. You're going to need light hand weights and some water, because we are going to take a water break in the middle of class. All right, now before we get started, I want you to check your area. I want you to make sure everything is cleared out of the way. You're not going to trip on anything. You are not going to fall over the dog or anything like that. Safety is our #1 priority right now, and we want you to be safe. So double check your space. Make sure you're all ready. All right. Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up. Yay! All right. At this point, we want to start the music. So we've already set it up so that we're sharing our computer sound. Now we have to actually get our music. So for the music, you will need to use some royalty-free music. Benefit Squad provides that through a couple different subscription services, and you can play the music right from those websites, or you can download it. So I have some music downloaded here that I am going to open up. All right, so this is a royalty-free music that I have that I am playing now. And you will definitely want to test this out, because the music that you hear on your end is very different from what your students are hearing. As you'll see here, the volume I have set is very low here. So it's actually very difficult for me to hear it, but it's very loud on your student's end, okay? So make sure your music is down. We're going to close that. We're going to extend this. All right, students, can you hear the music? Give me a thumbs up. Can you hear my voice? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. So we are ready to rock and roll. All right, ladies, have a seat. If you are using a chair, if you are standing to do this, that's fine too. Let's take those shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. Let's march those feet. You got it. We march and march. Nice. Tap your foot to the side. So we go side and side. We're going right and left. Right and left. Good. Very good. Nice job. Put your hands together. That was a great class. So our class was a little bit short, but that's okay. I'm going to shut off the music real quick here. We'll turn off the tunes. All right. So at the end of class, we're going to say, thank you all for coming. We are so happy that you were here. If you enjoyed the class, we ask two things of you. One, leave a review here on Benefit Squad. It would be greatly appreciated. And two, bring a friend to our next workout. The more the merrier, and we would love to have your friends join us here. Thank you so much for being here. If you are watching live, stay tuned. We're going to unmute you so we can chat if you're watching the recording. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. All right, so once you give your final message, again, you are going to want to pause the recording because now you can chat with your participants and you don't need all of that recorded. Okay. Now you'll notice at the end of the class, I did have two call for actions. I asked them, one, to leave a review on Benefit Squad, and two, to bring friends, because let's grow our classes. You might have a number of wonderful students, but they probably know people that would enjoy coming too. So let's use that as a platform to help us grow. All right. So now it's after class. We can unmute. So again, you can do it individually if you only have a few people, or you can go to Manage Participants and you can unmute all right there. All right. Nice job. How was it for you ladies? Yes, it was. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all of your help and have a wonderful day. Bye. Thanks, guys. All right. Now you're ready to end your class. You're going to come down to the right where it says End Meeting. Click on End Meeting and End Meeting for all. All right. That was great. Now we're back on the Benefit Squad site, and a couple things that I want to show you from here and make note of. So one thing, when we were doing the test class, I want you to be aware of the fact that your students are going to be mirroring you. So what I mean by that is your left is going to be their right. So it's just like if you were teaching a normal class in person and you were facing your students, you would need to cue accordingly. So if you cue by direction, keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you are talking to people, and this can be hard when you are adjusting all the settings, but remember where your camera is and talk to that. So if you're using a webcam, talk to your webcam. If you're using the camera on your laptop or device, talk to that little circle, because that's going to make it look like you are having eye contact with your students, not looking at them on the screen. All right. So those are just a couple little things to keep in mind. And again, if you forget any of these steps or you have questions about them, go back and rewatch them or ask us a question. We're happy to help and walk you through it. All right, so now we're back on the Benefit Squad site, like I said, and there are a couple more features that I'm going to show you real quick. So after you do your class, your students can also get that recording. That's why it's so important for you to remember to start the recording at the beginning of class, and you'll want to pause it at the end so you don't record the chitter chatter. To find your recordings, you're going to come to this tab that says Recorded, and you're going to click on Recorded. Now you can see that we don't have any recordings in here yet. It does not happen automatically. There's actually a bit of a delay because there's time in Zoom that the videos take to process once you've done it. So the recordings don't show up immediately, but this is where they will show up. And it's very simple to start them. Again, the setting is very similar to what you see here. So instead of having a join link, you'll have a link, I believe it says play, and that's how you can play those recordings. Now your students, they will also play the recordings in the same manner. They'll log in to their account, so they'll go to For Students, but their screen will look very similar to what you have, minus a few of these tabs. All right, so that's where they will find the recordings as well. Next, I want to show you how to edit your classes and how to manage your classes a little bit. And again, there's a few different ways to get there. You can click on the Manage Classes tab, or you can scroll down. There's another tab at the bottom. We're going to click here. So we're managing our classes, and then you can click on this link, and it's going to open up a new page. So for any classes that you have coming up, you will see 3 different options. All right, you can click on this button, and well, let's do it. So it's going to take you back to this screen that looks exactly like it did when we were setting up that class. So you can go in here and you can edit any of this information right here. Okay. All right, so the other option, you can trash the class. So if you need to cancel the class for any reason, go ahead, you can trash it right there. Or if you are going to be doing the same class over and over again, instead of creating a new class every single time, you can simply duplicate the class. So I'm going to take this one that I have scheduled coming up here. And you'll see that when you click on that, it says cloning event. And the system is automatically going to copy it for 1 week from the time that it was scheduled. So, for example, that class was scheduled for a Monday. So when you copy or clone it, it will be scheduled for the Monday a week from then. All right. So the one that we copied was April 27th, and you'll see that the copy or the clone is scheduled for May 4th. All right, so if you had the same class at the same time every week, it works out very well. If you don't, again, you can go in and you can edit that information. So you can copy and then edit however you need to. Okay, another great feature that you can find in this area of the managed classes is to view your ticket stats. All right, so this class that we just did, the best test class, let's view our ticket stats, and you will be able to see the participants or the students that purchased tickets for that class. All right, so that is a handy tool to see who's coming to your class if they bought an individual ticket. All right, so again, that is the Meetup or the Manage My Classes tab. You can copy, you can edit, you can trash, you can do all sorts of things with your classes. All right, so we're going to go back to our main portal and look at just a couple more things here, just to get you all set up so you're ready to go. We will get there. All right. So we are back on this site, and from here, there's just a couple more things that I want to show you. And the first is how to set up your profile. So once you've done your test class and you're ready to go, you've scheduled your classes, you want to create a profile for yourself on the website. So you'll click on Profile here, and you can enter an image. You're going to put your bio, your first name, where you are coming from, and it's going to show past classes that you've had. All right? So you want to make sure that you set up that profile. In addition to the profile, you will want to set up a subscription. So scroll down the page here, and we're going to go to create a subscription. And this is really great because you can set a monthly price for your class, and your students that subscribe, they get access to all of your live classes, but they also get all of the recordings. So it's really, really great for them. And the subscription is really great for you because it gives you a little bit more consistency with your income, and you have a better idea of what to expect as far as money coming in. So I highly suggest that when you are promoting your class, that you send people to your subscription link. All right? So we've got a couple options here. We can create the subscription, and we're going to click on that in just a minute. So we're going to do that, and then I want to show you how to record a 30-second greeting, because that greeting is going to go on your subscription link. All right? So let's click on create a subscription, and you'll see that it's pretty simple here. Your name, your email address, and the price that you want for your subscription, right? So that is pretty easy, and then you'll want to come down here and record a 30-second greeting. And so this is going to open up another page here. There's a little video that tells you a little bit more about how to do that. And then when you're ready, you'll click on Start Recording in Zoom, and it's going to start recording you automatically. Now it can be edited, so don't worry, and you can do as many takes as you need to. But this is just a little greeting, so if someone comes to your subscription page, they get a feeling for how you are in front of the camera and what your class is all about, and who you are. So you'll want to make sure that you set those things up as well. Some of these other things, the instructor agreement, you will have already agreed to because that pop-up does come up. But if you want to see again what all of those terms are, feel free to click on that. And you'll want to upload your certification and the music licensing. And we talked a little bit about this during the class. But just to reiterate, when you are teaching classes live and when you're recording them, especially when you are recording them, you need to use royalty-free music that gives you the licensing rights to use the music, especially to record the music. So if you typically use popular songs in your class and you have playlists that you create, there's a good chance that you won't be able to use that music on here just because of the licensing rights. Now, Benefitsquad, and we're going to click on this real quick and look at it. Benefitsquad, as I mentioned earlier, has two different subscriptions to royalty-free music. So you can go to soundstripe.com, or you can go to this other website here, which is Artlist. You can log in with the Benefitsquad's username and password, so you can use their royalty-free music. And that is a must for this site. You must use royalty-free music through Benefitsquad when you are teaching a class. Again, it just goes back to those licensing rights, and we want to make sure that we are legally doing all of this, because there can be big fines and penalties if we use other music. All right. So those are the main things that I wanted to show you today. Again, you can edit your public profile there. Like I said, there's a number of ways to get to the same place here on the site. Now, if you need some gear, that's probably not the best word to say here, but if you need a microphone or you need some other tools here, you can get that by going to this tab. And if you are going to be using your music as I showed you with the recording, you are going to want to make sure you have a wireless microphone, just because of the way it picks up the music and it picks up your voice. You won't be able to hear you, or your students won't be able to hear you if you don't have a microphone close to your mouth. So I highly recommend getting that and having the lighting set up so you are nice and bright. All right, guys, I know that was a lot. We've made it through all of our steps. Go back and rewatch this as many times as you need to. And like I said, ask questions if you have issues with any of it, because there's probably a workaround, or there's probably just a little button that needs clicked. And once you know which buttons to click, it gets really, really easy. So thank you for being part of Benefit Squad. Have a wonderful day and have wonderful classes. You are doing an amazing thing for your students being here online, and it is amazing and very generous what you are doing here. So thank you for being part of our site, and thank you for being fabulous instructors.